This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Friday morning. You know what? I woke up this morning and I thought, maybe Kern's not such a bad guy. I know, and I don't want to make light of his wife with all the hair she has, and she doesn't smell very well, but I said, I've been giving him hell. Only because she's up in the political arena. I'm not beating her up politically because she's a woman. I love women. Unlike Mark, well, we won't even go there. You know what I'm talking about. I bet you do. But I thought, I'm going to make up. So I call Kern, and Kern says, Bob, thanks. He says, you've been beating the hell out of me. And he says, please don't do that no more. You've embarrassed me with my family. And I said, Mark, to be honest, you've embarrassed yourself. And he says, yeah, I know I have. He said, I know I have. And I said, you know what, Mark, I really feel bad for you at this point in time. And he says, Bob, thank you. He says, you're really a pretty nice guy. I says, yeah, but this has all stressed me out. And he says, well, you want to come over to the house and have a drink? And I said, Mark, well, I don't drink. He says, well, you want to come on over? I know you're stressed. And maybe we can make up and, just maybe I can rub your back. And I said, what? Now, it's April Fool's. That no good, no count, rotten son of a bitch. I wouldn't let him touch me. I'd rather him touch me than his wife. And I think he'd probably be, I don't know, but I think he'd rather touch me than his wife also. What the hell is going on? I told you, good people, 3 weeks ago what was going to happen. Every time I told you they were going to make Alvin Parks a city manager, every time I tell you something, people, it's because I've got people eyes and ears out all over this great country, this great state, this once great St. Clair County. I told you what was going to happen. Listen to me, people, and listen good. Everything was going for St. Clair County. You read all the newspapers, the best location, the best this, the best that, the safest location. And what did I tell you was going to happen? Because of the culture of corruption. I got it straight from Washington. And if I'm lying, Kern, give me a call. Defend yourself. You'll defend yourself on KMOX. You'll defend yourself in the newspaper because they throw those softball questions and let you answer questions, and then they don't quiz you on your answer? Are you crazy? This no good son of a bitch. This no good son of a bitch. And I called it. We've got the best location. That location in St. Louis is in the ghetto, in the bad part of town. But you know what? The federal government, and I got this straight from Washington, for all the good that St. Clair County brought to this $1.6 billion, people, $1.6 billion. We lost it. We lost it. The best location. We were going to give up the most. Right on the interstate. There was nothing negative about the location. about the business plan. But my people in Washington, you know what they told me? They could not overcome the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. Kern will even say that. Kern says, hey, it's the best location, guys. We're going to give you this. You don't have to break anything down to build. We've got a safe location. It's on the interstate. We'll give you this and give you that. Hell, he offered up everything but his wife. And I think if he'd have done that, hell, we never would have been in contention at that point. But people, you understand, and I'm being serious as a heart attack now, it pisses me off. $1.6 billion, people, a $5 billion, listen to me, with a B, $5 billion annual budget, 3,100 people making $80, $90, $150,000 a year. You know what a shot in the arm that would have been for the economy in St. Clair County? All the restaurants. There'd be hotels, other hotels built. There'd be big influential people coming into town. All the restaurants. Guys, would they'd have went down on the Casino Queen at night? People would have moved over here. The tax base would have been better. Mark, Sweet Cakes, Kern, and Sprague, along with Barra Civic. Don't forget Barra Civic, red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle. These son of a bitches single-handedly destroyed any chance of St. Clair County ever getting their financial house in order. Do you people understand that? And I ask, Sweet Cakes, you rotten bastard, I would demand, as would most people, that you resign right now. If you want the good people of St. Clair County to benefit, you resign now. I think at that point, and I hear from people in Washington, that may change the tide. That might turn the tide on them reconsidering St. Clair County. They're not going to with Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic. Hell, my people in Washington tell me we're known in St. Clair County as one of the most politically corrupt counties in the country. When the people in Washington, D.C. will tell you that they know all about St. Clair County. And you know who gets hurt, people? All of us, the little people, the 98% that don't get taken care of by Sprague, by Kern, by Barra Civic. Now, you people don't have to like me, and we don't have to like Kern and Sprague and Barra Civic. But now we got to hate them because of those three stooges, those three political thugs. The spy agency is going to be over in St. Louis, in North St. Louis, people. And there may be robberies over there. It's going to be a bad area. But do you know how bad and how disrespected we are in St. Clair County because of Kern, because of Sprague, because of Barra Civic? They would rather send their people out there in a violent area rather than the farm area. They'd rather send those people over there where they're going to have to knock down houses and spend more money rather than St. Clair County, an area with flat land, an area that's right on the interstate. You think of all the good, but the deciding factor, people, and I told you for the last 3 weeks, the best location, but the most politically corrupt organization in this state of Illinois. The federal government did not want to take part, did not want to get involved because you know what they're saying? They're saying it'd be no different than the way they're running the airport. The politicians would have their hands out. They'd want jobs. And here, I got to say, there's a lot of proud union people. I'm all for unions to a point. There's a place for the unions. Now, sometimes maybe they overstep their bounds, but for all practical purposes, the union philosophy is a good philosophy. But you guys, you know how much money you lost? You know how many labor locals, construction, iron workers, bricklayers? You can thank Sprague, you can thank Kern, and you can thank Barra Civic that you guys lost all that $1.6 billion of development. We lost all the residual effect with the 3,100 employees making big money. And if you make big money, guess what? You spend big money. And it had all been spent in this area. So all you labor locals, all you laborers out there in St. Clair, Madison, Monroe County, you can thank God Sprague. Well, I'm sorry, his new name, Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than pissing in a urinal spray, also known as pissy pants, for those that can't get all that out. John Red on the noodle like a pecker on a poodle bear civic. And, of course, Mark Sweetcakes Kern. These son of a bitches that want your support every election, all you unions, think about it now. Because of all this corruption, you suffer. Because of all of this corruption, every decent person in St. Clair County suffers. I'm asking you, Mark Sweetcakes Kern, you rotten bastard, will you resign? If you resign from the county chairmanship, I honestly believe when they reconsider this move that we, the good people of St. Clair County, the hardworking taxpayers, we will have a chance to get that $1.6 billion. You hear me, people? $1.6 billion with a $5 billion annual budget and all the economic residual, the positive economic residual effects for our county. You think Kern will do that? Hell no, he won't. He's going to continue to mislead this county under the direction of Bob. I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal spray. Pissy pants. We call him Pissy Pants. His friends call him Pissy Pants. You people, you have to understand. This November, you guys got to put the final nail in the coffin. The political coffin, of course, of this corrupt, very corrupt St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the culture of corruption. Now, everybody, sit back. You're drinking your coffee. Follow me. The best location. We gave the best offer. Everything was in place. And they didn't choose our location in St. Clair County. What is the common denominator? You people know what it is. It's the corrupt leadership, the corrupt political leadership, the criminal leadership in St. Clair County. Now, I get pissed off before, but this is going to be devastating to the people of St. Clair County and the surrounding region. Nobody's going to come over here now that they're going to build it in St. Louis. All the unions over there, and good that somebody's getting to work. They're going to have all the jobs. When people eat, you think they're going to come from North St. Louis where they're doing construction, to come to Belleville, to come to Fairview, to come to Mascoutah, to come to St. Clair County to eat? Hell no, they're not. And that'll be millions of tax dollars, millions of sales tax. And Kern's saying, it ain't over yet. You stupid bitch, it's been over, and it's going to remain over while you're sitting there as a St. Clair County board chairman. Everybody knows your reputation, Kern. At the Y, in other words, politically, of course. Everybody knows the lack of leadership. Everybody knows what God Sprague does, how he controls the court system, about all the political corruption in St. Clair County. It's been going on for 50 years, and now people were really paying for it with the loss of a $1.6 billion development and $5 billion annual income and all the revenue that would have been generated all throughout St. Clair County. Just another reason, people, to get rid of this culture of corruption. And you know what I found out? You got Slay. What an ignorant bastard he is, but apparently he's not too ignorant. He orchestrated a successful operation to keep the spy agency over in St. Louis. They tell me that Kern and Sprague never consulted with any of the county board members in St. Clair County. Never got their ideas. Never had public input. Do you see what's going on, people? It's their little fiefdom, their little fiefdom, their little foedom, their little kingdom. But they are dumb. I got to give them credit. Out of all those, they are dumb. That's the common denominator. These ignorant, stupid, lack of leadership bastards didn't ask anybody else. They don't ask you people when they raise taxes. They don't ask you people anything. You people, I mean the bosses. You guys are the bosses, and you let these rotten bastards get away with that? There ought to be a tsunami. There ought to be a perfect storm come November of 2016. And you don't have to vote for me. You don't have to vote for anybody. Just vote these son of a bitches out of office. They can't promise you it's going to be better after 50 years. You see, it got worse. But now, here's Slay Pretty slick for an ignorant son of a bitch. They had 2 or 3 locations. They had it all thought out. I tried 8 months ago, and I sent a letter to Kern. I sent a letter to Washington that they to consider. And I said that I am a candidate for state representative. East St. Louis isn't part of my district. And I always say how East St. Louis goes is how this county goes. Why didn't we have an alternative location? I wrote Roger Cook help with this formula that we sent to Washington, D.C. about let's consider East St. Louis, the riverfront. Let's put that development down there. We get the best of both worlds. We get the Illinois side and the Missouri side. It was never brought. It was brought by me. It was brought by the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, Roger Cook. It was never brought by Kern. Kern rejected that from the get-go. I sent a letter to him. He never responded. He knew that was the best location, but for you good people in East St. Louis, that would have got you off the plantation. And he's not going to get you off the plantation. But not only, Kern, have you hurt the good people of East St. Louis by being a jerk-off, political, no-count, good-for-nothing scumbag bastard, cockroach-sucking son of a bitch. You've hurt everybody in St. Clair County. How the hell does that happen? You know how it happens with this culture of corruption. We sent that letter. You've heard me. I've been pressing for that for 6-8 months. Put the development down on the riverfront. Kern told some people, off the record, of course, that he drinks with, we're not taking it down there. Those blacks will screw it up. That's what Kern said. And if you didn't say it, Kern, call me and defend yourself. But Kern, those proud black people couldn't screw up any more than you and Sprague and Barra Civic. They've never cost us $1.6 billion and $5 billion to be shoved into our economy. $5 billion, people. All those jobs going and staying in St. Louis when we had the best of everything over here. But what we didn't have the best in is our leadership, our corrupt leadership. And I would ask you again, sweet cakes, get your head out of the toilet at the boys' gym at the Y, you ignorant, the locker room, you ignorant bastard. I would ask you to resign today. And I'm serious. If you resign, if this bastard resigns, people, I think the federal government would reevaluate. The decision's not going to come, the final decision, for another 60 days. If it stays the way it is, you know it's going to be status quo. They're going to have public input, but nothing really changes the game. But if Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, if he resigns and do what's best for this county, that's what's best for you, you rich little son of a bitch, you rich little son of a bitch that didn't earn a penny, that your mommy and daddy, I'm sure great people, give you the money. You little sawed-off and good-for-nothing rotten bastard, you spoiled little punk. Why don't you resign, Kern? Because when you go, Sprague will go, and this county will be a lot better off. And I think at that point, just maybe they will seriously, I don't know if it's too late, it may be too late, but it's worth a try. And Kern, after everything you've taken, you and Sprague and Barra Civic have taken from this great county of ours, can't you have some dignity, some respect for us, and give something back? All you need to do, Kern, and you led us down this path of devastation. You've led us down this path of devastation, financial devastation. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, you and Sprague and Barra Civic. People hear those names every day, but there's never anything positive. Nothing positive when you hear Sprague, Kern, and Barra Civic. It's all negative, and it pisses me off. Because I want to see, I promise you, I spoke with Roger Cook yesterday, and we both said, you know what, it's going to make those guys look good if it comes to Illinois. They're going to take credit that they don't deserve, but both of us said, we'll just take the heat because other than politics, we put the people first. I wanted to see it come. I wanted to see it come to St. Clair County. I didn't want to see Sprague and Kern and Barra Civic take credit. But if that's what it took, I would have given them credit. Because I'm not concerned about our future as politicians. I'm concerned about every one of our futures as families in St. Clair County. Now somebody says, hey, Romanik, boy, aren't you glad they're not going to get the credit? No, I'm not glad. Let's give them the credit. Doesn't make any difference who gets the credit. I wanted it to happen for the good people of St. Clair County, but it didn't. It didn't happen, and it didn't happen, people, with everything on the positive note. The federal government final decision was based on the culture of corruption, the Democratic Central Committee of St. Clair County. And you think about it. You think about it while you're drinking your coffee. You think about it today when you're talking to other people. Think about it when you're reading the paper. So much positive in St. Clair County. So much negative on the Missouri side. And we had Dick Durbin. We had Barack Obama, our presidents from Illinois. They couldn't even sway it because of the culture of corruption. So that tells you how deep, how rooted the corruption is in St. Clair County. Nobody wanted to be part of it. And again, St. Clair County gave one site. St. Louis and Slade, they had 3 sites, 4 sites. They had it all mapped out. They had a great program. But here's Kern and Sprague and Bear Civic. No, we want it out by the airport. They want what they want, not what we want, not what the good people of St. Clair County want. So I'm asking you, Sweet Cakes, do us all a favor. Do us all a favor and resign, so just maybe that we can stand a chance in the final days. 3,100 employees, $1.75 billion in development, $5 billion in annual revenue, and all the residual from the businesses. And we lost it all. We lost it all because of your rotten, stinking lack of leadership, your criminally corrupt, politically corrupt lack of leadership. Mark Sweet Cakes Kern. Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal. Sprague, also known as Pissy Boy. And don't forget, Chief Judge John read on the noodle like a pecker on the poodle. And I've seen peckers on the poodle, and they look a lot better than that ignorant bastard. But on a very serious note, people, these guys have put the final nail in our coffin. And they're going to survive. Bear Civic wants to be the judge. He wants to circumvent the state constitution. He wants to violate the same constitution that he puts his hand on the Bible and swears to uphold, that he uses every day in his courtroom to sentence people. Oh, that's what the Constitution, that's what the law says. And then he circumvents it. And then Sprague, who never runs for office, but he gets the $1 million from all these small towns for the legal fees. And then there's Kern. This is an ego trip for Kern. Kern's got more money than the law allows. His daddy give it to him. The little rich boy is a spoiled, no good little son of a bitch. St. Clair County politics is a toy to him. He's not a man. Seeing these bastards, they talk to the News Democrat. They talk to the Post-Dispatch. They talk to Channel 5, 11-2. They don't talk to Bob Romanik because I'm not going to take their lousy lying crap. I'm not going to give them the right time of day when they're wrong. And they are wrong. Lines are always open, toll free, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. We are America's voice of freedom and definitely the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, and we get worse with these ignorant, rotten bastard son of a bitches that are screwing us. America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. We may get to the housekeeping here momentarily, but you can't believe the callers we got. And you think I cuss, you ought to hear the crap I'm hearing. Man, oh man. Hell, I'm going to be a priest after all this. These people, hey, Kern, these people, Sprague, Bear Civic, these people, the good people of St. Clair County, they're up in arms. Now they understand why we didn't get it. Because of the corruption that's been breeding in St. Clair County for the last 50 years. You guys are a political cancer that we have to destroy. People, that cancer just keeps growing and growing like cancer in your body. And when you have cancer in your body, you want it out. And the people of St. Clair County want their political cancer out. And that's Sprague, that's Kern, that's Bear Civic. Unbelievable. This was the biggest thing that happened in St. Clair County in I don't know how long. And Kern in the Post. Now, he'll talk to the Post because, see, they'll let him say what he wants, and they won't question him. Kern says, in quotes, "We were best in security and developing timing, and I think those things are important." And that's probably the first time I ever agreed with Kern. It is important, but it still doesn't trump the culture of corruption led by you, Bob Sprague, John Bear Civic, and people in November. And yes, it's a political thing. That's how they got there. And that's how they're going to have to be gone. We're going to have to run them out. Because just think, maybe there's something bigger coming down the road. Maybe there's something, a $2 billion project. St. Clair County, a great area. A lot of resources. A lot of amenities. But with Kern, Bear Civic, and Sprague, nobody, I mean nobody, is ever going to consider us. You think about it. I said earlier, this is Obama's home state, the president. We got Dick Durbin, the second most powerful man in the country. And what do you have? You have the $1.7 billion development going over to St. Louis in the ghetto. Think about it. No matter how hard these people tried, I guess even the president couldn't make a case because of the culture of corruption in St. Clair County. So you hear me talk about it every day, and it hurts us with the high taxes, the airport. The airport only cost us $15 million a year. We're only throwing $15 million a year. $15 million as opposed to $1.7 billion, then another $5 billion for annual revenue, then another $3 billion for the economic gain. Hell, we're talking $10, $12 billion. Hell, this airport debacle is just a drop in the bucket. Maybe that's why Kern wanted this to go away. So now everybody will talk about this and nobody will remember the $500 million only that's been wasted on the airport through their mismanagement in their corrupt operation, their politically corrupt operation. Maybe it's a smokescreen, people. But it's a smokescreen that's going to cost us in St. Clair County about $8 to $10 billion in residual revenue. Think about it, $8 to $10 billion, because we've got a jerk off like Mark Sweetcakes Kern is our county board chairman, and he doesn't lead the county. God Sprague, Bob, I'd rather piss in my pants than piss in a urinal. That diaper-wearing son of a bitch. That depends. I know St. Clair County Democratic culture corruption depends on Bob Sprague because he wears the pins, I think. I don't know. I don't want to see that sumbitch naked. I don't think his old lady does either. And you got to make light of this, people, because it's so serious. So all of you think about it. Again, as you're drinking your coffee, how devastating is this to our economy, to our children's future, our grandchildren's future. You think about it, laborers again. They've screwed you guys, but they'll be crying for your support in November. You got to vote Democrat. Why? So they can stay in office and you can lose another possible $10 billion development coming down the road? I think the good Democrats in St. Clair County are tired of this crap. They're getting screwed just like the Republicans. This culture of corruption in St. Clair County knows no bounds. They've hurt Democrats, Republicans, independents, black, white. They don't care. They're like a venereal disease, people. It's rotten to have and it's hard to get rid of. But we can get rid of it in November of 2016. Let's do our housekeeping. Roger Cook just pulled up. I want to get his take. Sunday, April the 3rd, Community Breakfast Buffet, sponsored by the O'Fallon Moose Lodge. It'll be held at the O'Fallon American Legion, located at 109 North Penn Street in O'Fallon, Illinois. Don't forget our good friends in New Baden. Chicken and beer dance this Saturday at New Baden American Legion. Doors open at 7, chicken at 9. The Bunnell Fire Department, their trivia night will be held tonight, April the 1st. Doors open at 6:30. Trivia starts at 7. Any questions or concerns? 217-835-2268. Our good friends at Steelville, Illinois, the Steelville Legion Riders, Post 480. Their shooting match and meat wheel this Sunday, April the 3rd, starting at 12:30 p.m. to be held at the Chester Eagles at 402 Hacker Street in Chester, Illinois. For you good people down in the Potosi, Missouri area, the Trivia and Steak Night to be held tonight. Trivia starts at 7 to be held at the Potosi Elks Lodge, 2218 North Missouri Street in Potosi. I like that, Potosi, Missouri. Any questions or concerns? 314-775-9920. The Edwardsville American Legion, they're hosting a spring rock concert Saturday, April the 16th, with 3 great bands. They're located at 58 South State, Route 157 in Edwardsville. Doesn't have any telephone number, but we'll get to them later. Mouse races coming up April the 9th, next Saturday at Dupo, at the Dupo Quarterbacks Club. You can get tickets at the Dupo Quarterbacks Club in Dupo, Illinois. Trivia Night. 10th Annual 4-H Trivia Night to be held this Saturday. Doors open at 6. Games begin at 7 at the Agricultural Building at the Chevy Park in Mascoutah. Any questions or concerns, you can contact Tim at 939-3434. And I want to thank Mike Richter and the great Richter family from the Mascoutah area. Mike has corrected me like I always need to be corrected. He says the Shreve Park, but it's pronounced Chevy Park, so I want to apologize to all the great people in Mascoutah, Chevy Park, but hell, it's spelled Scheve, so I'm not completely stupid. Pretty much, but not completely. On this date, April the 1st, 1789, the United States House of Representatives held its first full meeting in New York. On this date, April the 1st, 1856, the Western Union Telegraph Company was founded by Ezra Cornwell. On this date, April the 1st, 1864, people, the first accident policy was issued by Hartford, Connecticut Life Insurance Company. On this date, April the 1st, 1876, the first official National League Baseball game was played. The Boston Red Caps beat the Philadelphia A's 6-5. On this date, April the 1st, 1929, the yo-yo was introduced to the public by Louis Marx. On this date, April the 1st, 1931, Jackie Mitchell became the first female in professional baseball. On this date, April the 1st, 1945, the United States invaded Okinawa, Japan. On this date, April the 1st, 1970, a bill banning cigarette advertising on radio and TV went into effect, signed by President Nixon. And for Mark Sweetcakes Kern, a day of honor. On this date, April the 1st, 2001, same-sex marriages became legal in the Netherlands, which was the first country to allow it. And I heard through good sources that the day after, Mark Sweetcakes Kern bought a condo right on Main Street. That's what happened throughout all these years. April the 1st in our great world's history. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and/or the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling, for the best of entertainment for all three of our great stations. You can listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or also KZQZ 1430 AM. And you can go to my Facebook, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and don't forget the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook. Some great information. Let's see. Let's take a quick break. Roger just walked in. I want to get his take, and I know he's very, very upset. Lines are always open. Toll free 1-888-394-1430 on the east side, 394-1190. Don't think I'm going to go crazy. I've had so many people that call and say, I don't want to get on the air. Romanik, you'll go crazy on me. Hell, I'm not going to go crazy on you. And if I did, hell, I'm not sitting next to you. I ain't got a knife. Well, I do have a knife, but I can't reach you. And also, I want to let you guys know, if you're having a little problem on 1190, we're down about half power. We're trying to get stereo, AM stereo. We're always trying to increase the quality of sound in these stations. So, again, if you can't hear it good on one station or the other, if you got 1190 and it's not coming in because we're working on it to enhance the quality, you can go to 1430 during my show or vice versa. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. You know, there's a lot of time, and I've got a lot of proud black friends, and they thank me when I distinguish the proud black community from the plantation Negroes who sell out to the white guys, the no-good, rotten bastards that screw the proud black community and know who you are. And a true steppin' and fetchin' plantation Negro, I want to put a salute out to a wannabe politician, Bug Watts, out of East St. Louis. And Bug Watts, you know, I feel bad for the bugs. Bug Watts, what a greasy little piece of crap, no count, low life, good for nothing, ass kissing, boot licking, plantation Negro you are. And I know the proud blacks will call me and thank me because they want to be distinguished the opposite of what Bug Watts stands for, stepping and fetching for the boys in Belleville. The proud black community, they laugh at you, Bug Watts. He goes around on his bicycle spewing, well, how come this? How come you do this? How come? Bug Watts, nobody likes you, you idiot. You know, all you are is a stepping and fetching, boot-licking plantation Negro. And if you got a problem, Bug, give me a call, 1-888-394-1430. On the east side, 394-1190. And I want to salute the proud black community because they talk about this Bug Watts like the dog. Well, no, I like dogs. Like the cockroach-sucking son of a bitch that he is. Bug Watts, a little greasy piece of crap, no-count bastard. See, they get these bastards that spit poison. And Sprague and Kern and Bear Civic, they won't come down. They'll let the blacks do their dirty work. And then they'll tell them, here's a few bucks. Get the votes any way you can. We don't care if you get in trouble. You think they ever get in trouble for voting fraud? No, it all happens in East St. Louis. It all happens in Centerville Township. Because they send the gladiators, the black gladiators down to do their bidding because these bastards, and you know, and I'm proud and white, but I'm not proud of some of these white sumbitches that are white. It's unbelievable. Roger Cook, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition and our next St. Clair County board chairman. I'll tell you what, Roger, the best thing they could do is Kern should quit, put you in there, a reputable man like you. You could go to Washington, and I know you've been talking to him like I have about the East St. Louis riverfront. I think that they would reconsider with somebody like you at the helm.
Well, Bob, I would hope we could make a lot of changes, that's for sure. But let me just tell you how I feel and how I felt last night. You know, we talked about this on the radio yesterday, and I told you I was going to go, when I go to bed, I was going to say a prayer for St. Clair County and hope that we get NGA. But of course, yesterday evening we found out, and I can't tell you how disappointed I am personally, but not so much for me, but for we the people of St. Clair County, and especially the trades, the electricians, the plumbers, the laborers, the iron workers, all the road construction in and around that site that would have occurred. We would have put people back to work in St. Clair County, and I'm truly disappointed for that fact. A project of this magnitude, I can't even remember. I tried to think of one in my lifetime. Never
been this big.
I think this is the biggest project of my life in St. Clair County, the opportunity that we missed, and I'm truly disappointed. Let me make this point, too. There's no county in the state of Illinois that's known for the corruption like St. Clair County.
Cook County's not even as bad as we are.
It's absolutely bizarre of what they get away with down here. And you look at Speaker Madigan, the longtime Speaker of the House. What did he do? When he needed to go to a courtroom, where did he go? He came to St. Clair County to get a ruling in his favor.
Right.
When you own the whole courthouse, from the courtroom to all the county-wide offices, one-party rule, the party bosses make decisions what's based on the party, not the people. And this is clearly evident in this decision because the project made all the sense in the world out at Scott Air Force Base. And look where we're at today. It's truly, truly disappointing.
You know, if we take Kern and his culture of corruption out of the equation, I would have bet $50,000 to get back $10,000 in Vegas because I was that sure that we were, even with the culture of corruption, we were going to get that spy agency because everything was in our favor. But then when I talked to my friends in Washington, they said it 3 weeks ago. Every time I premise myself on this air, Roger, I've got facts to back it up. And I knew that it wasn't coming. I knew it wasn't coming because they said they didn't want to mess with this culture of corruption, with this infestation, this inbreeding of corruption in St. Clair County. I knew it was coming.
I spoke last night with a friend of mine that's got a lot of skills in economic development, promoting, marketing cities, counties. And he said, Roger, I'm telling you, what they feared, the federal government feared, that this project, this $1.75 billion project, would have cost 25% more if they did it over here because of the political climate.
And it would have been infected. It would have been infected by the culture of corruption. We've got our good friend Ed Cockrell on the phone. Go ahead, Ed. You're on the air.
Hey, Bob, Roger, how are you? I just wanted to call and tell you this isn't an April Fool's joke. This is the real deal here. So I was going to try to make it on your show, but I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. But here's what we need to do as a collective here, Democrats, Republicans, and everything. We've got to thank God that this thing's still going to be in St. Louis because it could very easily go to California or Georgia or Washington, D.C. or New York.
Yeah, Ed, but I agree with you. But I tell you, at the end of the day, it's not going to – if it was over here, the people from St. Louis would have come over. Nobody that's going to come from St. Louis now over here without something major like that.
Thousands of people come to Scott Air Force Base every day from across the river. So that argument doesn't hold with me. But I didn't know repairing urban blight was a requirement of the Department of Defense or the NGA. That's the part that I don't understand. So we should have just submitted a site, in a blighted part of the county, East St. Louis or somewhere else. I don't know.
Was it correct? Was I correct when I said, and I'm always correct because I don't say anything till I research it and find out to be true, did Kern and the boys, the leaders, they never consulted, made a big consulting thing with all the county board members to try to put everybody's ideas together?
I read about it like you did, Bob, in the paper.
And you're a county board member?
For almost 24 years, yes.
See, that shows you how ill-prepared, and they got started. And again, Ed, and you're running for office too, I do want to make it political because everything's political in St. Clair County. Do not agree with Roger and I? If it hadn't been for this inbreeding culture of corruption, that we stood a lot better chance and probably would have gotten this $1.7 billion development?
Well, Bob, everybody looks at Illinois and they think, wow, that environment over there, you got to play to pay. It's all politics. And, I think people they just have a bad taste in their mouth and they're not going to move forward. I mean, people do blame because why didn't we submit more than one site? Why did we put all eggs in one basket?
Yeah. Well, we had talked before, and thanks for the call, Ed. You're coming and broken up. I had talked, and Roger got on board. We sent letters to Washington. We sent letters to Kern asking that East St. Louis be considered as an alternative site. And we were turned down because, as you know, Ed and Roger, they want to keep the proud black community down in servitude. To them, I guess they haven't heard about Abe Lincoln and slavery's over. The boys in St. Clair County will keep us all, not just black and white in slavery, to keep their positions. Roger, give you the last word.
Bob, in the state of Illinois and in St. Clair County, we've got to make our county business friendly. We need to bring jobs back to St. Clair County so we can increase our population. We're losing thousands of people annually. If we just simply create a development department with a skilled expert with education and development, market and sell St. Clair County, we have great resources to sell. And I'm committed to doing that. As disappointed as we are now, we can make miracles happen by representing what's best for we the people, and I'm committed to that.
Roger Cook, co-chairman of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition and also a candidate for St. Clair County Board Chairman. And with his leadership, people, things like this won't happen. Hope everybody has a good weekend, friend and foe. See, I don't want anything ever to happen bad to my foes because I like aggravating them. I like beating the hell out of them. I like exposing them for the corrupt son of a bitches that they are. So stay healthy, enemies, because we're coming to get you, to destroy you. Politically, of course. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio at its finest, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. We'll see you on Monday, but people, over the weekend, ponder this situation, understand the severity, understand the devastation that Kern, Sprague, and Bear Civic has brought to us, our children, our grandchildren, and future generations. Understand that this culture of corruption is worse than anything. Culture of corruption is worse than cancer. It goes on and on and on until we, Democrats, Republicans, independents, men, women, black and white, until we unite to destroy these bastards. 1.7 billion. Think about it this weekend. Think about what this culture of corruption has cost us in the past, at the present, and even more so than that, in the future. Together we can stop this devastation, this financial devastation, this wrecking of our economy, of our families, of our way of life. Together we can unite and we can continue to expose these no-count, rotten, good-for-nothing son of a bitchin', cockroach-sucking, parasitical punks that we call politicians. Drag them over the coals of political hell And as always, when the fight's over, the strong will be standing. And we, the people, are strong. So let's unite and destroy this St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, the St. Clair County culture of corruption, not the good Democrats, but these renegade, rogue, corrupt political bastards. Destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away.